Today we'll be learning how to perform a hive inspection. To begin your hive inspection, direct smoke by the entrance in front of the hive to confuse the guard bees. Lift the outer cover slightly and direct a few puffs of smoke underneath it. Let the cover back down gently and wait for 1 to 2 minutes for the smoke to take effect. Fun fact, people often say smoke calms the bees, but what it really does is send a signal that there is a fire nearby, which makes them instinctively gorge on honey. While they're gorging, they're not worrying about the big white-suited animal that is messing with them. When you see their heads line up at the top bars looking at you, it's time for more smoke. Remove the hive's outer cover and carefully set it on the ground upside down. Direct some smoke into the hole in the inner cover if you have one. Wait a minute or two for the bees to react to the smoke. Use your hive tool to gently pry up the inner cover and remove it. If there is wax or propolis on the inner cover, use your hive tool to scrape it off. Set the inner cover on top of the outer cover on the ground, being careful not to injure any bees. Begin your inspection with the first bottom deep box. Direct smoke in between the frames, then remove the first frame and set it either in a frame holder or gently on top of the other hive boxes or on the inner cover, taking care not to injure any bees. One at a time, carefully pry each frame free using your hive tool, then lift up the frame and inspect it. Try to identify the queen. This is easier if she's marked, but it's still possible if she isn't. Look for her long, slender, unstriped abdomen and for a circle of workers around her. If you can't find the queen, it's important to find eggs, which indicates the queen was there in the past 1 to 3 days. Eggs look like thin grains of rice. There should be 1 per cell, laid in the center. Identifying eggs is the most important part of the beehive inspection for the beginner beekeeper, but beginners often find the eggs difficult to spot. The best way to see eggs is to hold the frame tilted up toward the sky at about a 30-degree angle, with the bright sun shining over your shoulder. Hold it slightly to the side of you so that your veil doesn't obscure the eggs. The bottom center of the frame is usually the best place to positively identify eggs. Check for any parasites or pests, mites, wax moth larvae, foul brood, and more. Determine how many frames are drawn out, meaning filmed with comb ready for honey. When 7 of 10 frames are drawn in the bottom deep box, it's time to add the second deep box. When 7 of 10 are drawn in the second deep, add a honey super. If the honey super is close to full, add another one. Part of inspecting the frames is looking for brood, capped and uncapped larvae, and eggs. As you inspect each frame, put it into the open space left by the previous frame you removed. Push each frame up against the one in front of it as you replace it gently to avoid injuring any bees. Using a bee brush or smoke helps move the bees out of the way, especially at the frame ears where they are likely to get pinched. Inspect the frames in order and don't change their order during inspection. When you get to the final frame, push the whole set of frames together as one single unit, using your hive tool to make space in the front for the first frame. As you replace the first frame, use your hive tool to even up the space on either side of the first and last frame so that the set of frames is centered in the box. Slide on the inner cover using the bulldozer method. Start at one end and slowly slide the cover across the box. Use a smoker or bee brush to move bees out of the way as needed. Gently replace the outer cover on the hive. Finally, record your observations in your bee notebook or journal. Do this right away because it's too easy to forget the exact date and the details of the inspection. Remove your suit and put away your smoker where it can burn out safely. And with that, you performed your first hive inspection.